Now, many a times I get a question as to what should my study plan be like. So today's video is all about creating your personalized study plan. I welcome you to this video. My name is Devansh and I'm the lead tutor at FinTutors. I'm presenting this video for the case study preparation to help you create a study plan that works for you. Now, FinTutors is a CIMA registered tuition provider, and most importantly, we've received the Global Pass Rate Excellence Award for 2022, and we met the stringent criteria set by CIMA, and we exceeded the pass rates that are globally achieved, and only 6 other tuition providers in the entire world have this recognition. FinTutors is now one of them. So you can understand that the material that comes from us, the quality of material that we create, the quality of instructions that we give is one which you can rely on. And a whole lot of time and effort goes into creating any video or any material that we put out for you. So this video is all about how you can create a study plan that works for you, that is personalized for you, and that is one which you can create according to the time that you can give, according to the hours that you can give, according to the level of preparation that you have. I'll run you through everything step by step. So first step is a very natural way of starting, where you assess where you stand today. So firstly, I want to understand, if I'm starting my studies today, what is my current knowledge? If I'm doing the operational case study exam, what is my knowledge in terms of E1, P1 and F1? If I'm doing the management level, E2, P2 and F2, where do I stand? If I'm doing the strategic case study, E3, P3 and F3, where do I stand? What's my current knowledge level? Because you know where you want to go, which means you want to pass the exam. But to reach there, you will first have to know where you are. So where are you right now? Right now, what is my level of study? So to understand right now where you are at, to understand right now where you are, what your situation is, you will have to create your preparation chart. So step number 1 was figure out where you are. To figure out where you are, you need to move to step number 2, which is to create your own preparation chart, which is to create a preparation chart that works for you, which is specific for you. Now, we broadly divide students into 3 categories. According to me, students can be divided into 3 categories. First being sufficient preparation done. You will fall into the sufficient prep category if you have finished revision of more than 2 modules or have recently taken the OTQ exams. So if you have recently passed the E3, P3 and F3 exams and then you are coming to the case study, you're in the sufficient prep done category because you've done the theory work by taking those exams. If you're a student that's coming to the exemptions route, through the FLP route, or any other exemptions route where you are directly taking the case study exam, and you've started your revision and you finished 2 modules, which means let's say E2, E pillar and P pillar is completed in terms of revision, then you are in the sufficient prep done category because you have time to now focus on the last pillar and then take up the case study aspect. Now, when I say 2 modules done, the time period is at least, for example, if you are taking the May exam. If you're taking the May exam and it's the end of March and you finished 2 modules, I feel you're in a good situation because in April then you will be able to complete the last module plus take up the case study aspect, and towards the end of April, first week of May, second week of May, you can only focus on mock writing. So see the trajectory. If 1.5 months before your exam you finish 2 modules, I will say you are in the sufficient prep done category. Remember that revision is only one part of this exam. Till the date of your exam, if you only focus on revision, you cannot do well on this exam. It's as simple as that. So revision is only one small part of this exam. So sufficient prep done if you have finished 2 modules 1.5 months before the exam. Now, if you are in this category, what should you do? Like I said, your job is now to focus on the last module and aim to complete it as quickly as possible. If you're choosing to sign up with us, you get access to our revision course, our revision material, our learning material, which is clear pointers where we'll tell you what you are supposed to know from each chapter from the case study perspective. So your job becomes a whole lot easier. Side by side, you must now start to build in the case study perspective, which means, pick up pre-scene once it's available, obviously, and then eventually move to mock question writing. So if you're in the sufficient prep done category, your job is to focus and push and finish the last module. Side by side, start to build in the case study perspective. And for this, you'll have to give 1 to 2 hours regularly, depending on the student's commitment and attention time span. But 1.5 months before the exam, if you have only one module remaining, you're in the right zone, you're in the right place. Second category is more preparation needed. Now you can fall into this category if you have finished only one module, 1.5 months remaining. You've only finished one module of the 3. Or you finished all 3 OTQ exams, but a long time ago. So you have to do your revision, you have to recall. So if you have to recall, starting after a long break, or if you finished one module of revision, you finished the E module, you have P and F remaining, then you are in the more preparation needed category. What must you focus on then? Because the focus then has to be more strategic, more tactical, because limited time. So more effort, obviously, but very directed effort. So my suggestion over here is, if you finished only one module, for the OCS and the MCS, you must focus on the P pillar. P1 for OCS, P2 for MCS is the most important pillars. While preparation for this exam, if you leave out anything in P1 or P2 for the OCS or MCS, you're leaving a big chance of doing well on this exam. Because majority questions in the OCS, MCS are from the P pillar. So if you're in the more preparation needed category, your focus has to be on the P pillar. Your focus has to be to master the P pillar at least. Side by side, you will still continue, you will still strive to finish the other pillars, but first you will become a master, you will do very well, you will very much focus on the P pillar and finish that. It doesn't mean that you don't touch the E and the F pillar. Absolutely not. You have to accomplish it. First P, then F, and then E for OCS and MCS. P pillar is the most important. Then the F pillar, then the E pillar. So eventually the goal is to cover everything. But the major focus will be on the P pillar. For the SCS, the E pillar is the most important. So for the SCS, you do first E, then P, and then F pillar in terms of your revision. So in whatever category you are, the ideal zone is to complete all 3 pillars of revision, but focusing on these important pillars that I have mentioned. Now over here, obviously you'll have to give a little bit more time because your preparation is limited, your time is limited. So you'll have to give me 2 to 3 hours regularly. You'll have to give me that time regularly if you want to do well, if you want to, focus and achieve a pass in the exam. So first, sufficient prep done. Second, more prep needed. Third, no preparation, 1.5, 2 months before the exam. You're just starting, 0 prep done. You're coming in through the exemptions route. not begun your studies, directly taking MCS, directly taking OCS, directly taking SCS, whatever your exemptions would be, if you fall under this category, you are alien to the requirements of the exam, you don't know what the exam is, you don't know what the situation is, but you are starting now. What you must focus on. The first thing is, you should know what this exam is about. Know the structure of the exam, know the pattern of the exam, know the requirement of the exam. Now rest assured, when you choose to sign up with us, your exam becomes my exam. So I will give you the direction, I will give you the material, I will give you everything that you need to start, everything that you need to know about this exam. Chronologically, it will be introduced one by one by us. So first is, start by knowing what the exam is. Second, begin with revising the most important pillar of that exam. Like I said, for OCS and MCS, you have to begin with the P pillar. For the SCS, you have to begin with the E pillar. Side by side, focus on the blueprint topics. Now, what are the blueprint topics? These are core areas which have been identified by CIMA as important areas from your E, P and F pillars. So when students choose to sign up with us, we give them an extra blueprint explanation document or I can statements explanation document, which you are not going to find anywhere else, because only we do it, because only we have created it for our students. So when you have started late, you will first focus on the most important pillar. For OCS, MCS, P pillar. For SCS, the E pillar, through the material, through the direction, through the learning documents that we give you. Side by side, we'll also give you the blueprint explanation topics. So you have topics from E, P and F, whatever case study you are taking, all in one place as a revision document. Now, whether you are in the sufficient prep done category, more prep needed category or no preparation category, this blueprint document is given to everybody, but different stages in terms of your, because the ideal scenario is to have all three covered from the study notes, so you're well rounded, so you're well protected and you're ready if anything comes up. But when you have limited time, you have to be more strategic, you have to be more tactical. So towards the end, we will also give you the blueprint explanation document that comes from us to save your time in terms of revision. That's only a revision document. It's not the only document that you have to study from. It's a revision document, but it will aid your revision greatly. And then, as always, you have to pick the case study perspective side by side. And over here, you will have to give me more time. For example, 1 hour, 1.5 hours for the case study perspective. Then another 1.5 hours for your revision perspective. So you'll have to give me 3 hours, 2-3 hours regularly, because you are starting now. So you will have to put in the time, you will have to put in the effort. My suggestion is prep in advance. So you're in the sufficient prep done category, and without any pressure, without any tension, you can do a good job on the exam. That's my suggestion, because I don't want to put extra pressure on you or give you any extra tension. Life already has enough that's going on for all of us. So let's take this exam in the most easiest, flexible way possible. So second step is, figure out where you are, what your situation is, and then attack the area which is important. Now, after you've understood what your situation is, you need, where you stand. Step 3 is assess the time left. But now, in terms of hours, we want to understand in terms of hours, how many hours do I have remaining? Let me give you a very clear picture and you'll see that it makes a whole lot of sense. Now our courses, the course which I create is created for working professionals. So we will never ask for unrealistic commitments or unrealistic time like 7 hours a day. I don't want that. And it's not needed. If you study in a good directed way, you did not need to put in the endless hours. Even the 3 hours that I said for you to put in every day, if let's say you're doing 1.5 hour on the weekdays, on the weekends you can make it 4 hours on Saturday and 4 hours on Sunday to cover up. So it's easily possible. This is an average time that I'm giving you. So let's say I'm taking hypothetically, okay? Let's say you have 30 days remaining for the exam. Or let's say 35 days you have remaining for the exam and you're creating your plan. And you study 2 hours a day on the weekdays and 4 to 5 hours on the weekends. Possible 4 hours on Saturday, 4 hours on Sunday, and maybe 1.5 hour on the weekdays. So this gives me 35 days will roughly have 5 weekends. So if you have 5 weekends, it gives you 25 hours of study because you're studying 5 hours, 2.5 on Saturday, 2.5 on Sunday. I'm counting that very, very fairly. So 5 weekends into 5 hours, 25 hours of study. You still have 25 weekdays remaining. And let's say in these 25 weekdays, on average, combining with the weekends and combining with the weekdays, you study 3 hours. So 25 into 3 gives you 75 hours of study. Because remember, on the weekends, I only counted 2.5 on Saturday, 2.5 on Sunday. Where it should be like 3-4 hours on Saturday, 3-4 hours on Sunday, because that's when you'll have real time to sit and real time to think. Because working professionals, that's when you get your free time, right? So that's when you have to give the study more commitment. So on average, you're studying, on average, you will have 100 hours of study in 35 days. If you have 1.5 months, you have 150 hours of study. Let's say 30 days remaining, 100 hours of, you have amassed 100 hours. And 100 hours is very, very, I'll say very, very realistic. When you think about 100 hours, you'll think, oh, it's a lot. But when you break it down, you'll see that I just have to study 2 hours daily and 3 hours on the weekends. So 3 hours on Saturday, 3 hours on Sunday. I don't have to do anything extra. Like I don't have to do 7 hours. I don't have to do that. But if you logically sit and break it down, like I showed it to you, like I've broken it down for you, then it will start to make more sense. So first step is assess where you are. For that, second step, prepare your study plan, prepare your situation plan. So what is your situation? What category do you fall in? And third, assess the time left in terms of hours. So in terms of hours, how much time do you have left? Remember, just a quick pause over here. Whatever your level of preparation is at, how many ever hours you have, do note. The case study is about 3 main pillars: revision, pre-scene and mock writing. If you only focus on revision, it will not help. You only focus on pre-scene, it will not help. You only focus on mock writing, it will not help. An amalgamation of all 3 is very, very, very important. So whatever your level of preparation is, I just can't give you time for revision, and you just can't say that I'm going to focus on revision. Last 10 days I'll do pre-scene and mock writing. It will not work out. It has to go hand in hand, has to go together. So if, for example, you're signing up to my course, we'll give you everything and it goes hand in hand. It's not like revision first and then start with the case study perspective. You're doing your revision in the background. I'll start with the case study perspective. I'll start with the mock writing, and everything will start making more sense. Because once questions are given to you, you start to understand how they are asking me the stuff, how stuff is coming up in the exam. And then revision becomes easy. The most important part, I will say, is case study specific mock writing and getting your answers marked by professional markers. We do 25 mock questions, which is 70 questions, 70 topics, No other tuition providers will do these level of this level of practice and this level of just personalized feedback and marking that we give for every single mock that you write. And that is why we get our results. That is why we have achieved the Global Pass Rate Excellence Award in 2022. Coming back now, how do I use these 100 hours? So step 3 was that you amassed 100 hours of study. Now to use these 100 hours, you will have to allocate this time subject wise or topic wise as per the preparation chart you have made in step number 2. In step number 2, let's say you are in the more preparation needed category. Only one pillar is completed. Now you know that your next job is to focus on the most important pillar, which is the P pillar for OCS MCS and the E pillar for the SCS. So let me say that, for example, I'm taking the SCS and my E pillar is now left. So E3 has 13 chapters for the SCS. Let's say you take 1 hour per chapter, because my revision course, my revision material and my learning documents, I'll give you 1 hour. Easily you can finish one chapter. Easily. So let's say 13 chapters, 13 hours. I'm counting 15 hours as a buffer also. I'm counting, let's say 20 hours as a buffer to finish E3. Okay. So out of these 100 hours, 20 hours are gone for E3. You've already finished one module. Now E3, 20 hours, another module completed. And side by side, let's say your P module is remaining. P module, let's say again another 15 hours, I'll put aside. So 20 plus 15, 35 hours gone out of 100. You still have 65 full hours left, where now you only have to focus on mock writing, pre-scene reading. More than enough time. So if you see that you divide your time accordingly, you will see you've created a good structure and have lots and lots and lots of time on your hands to still ace this exam. So you need to now sit and break it down. That okay, I have E3 remaining, these many hours, E3 I will complete. I have P2 remaining, for example, these many hours, P2 I will complete. Side by side, you're breaking it down hour-wise. But it doesn't mean that first 10 hours you're only doing E3. No. Your revision, yes, you're doing. Let's say today you did 1 hour of revision, 1 hour of pre-scene reading, for example. So from the revision time, remove 1 hour. From the pre-scene time, remove 1 hour. So that much time you now have remaining, which you have to give to revision, which you have to give further on to the pre-scene. It's not that first 10 hours only pre-scene, then next 20 hours only the revision. This is to break down. But then you will do everything together, side by side by side. So pre-scene reading and revision goes side by side. Simultaneously, mock question writing, we will introduce for you side by side. But this is to break down, to show you that it can easily be done. It's easily achievable if you follow a plan. My recommendation now, because obviously we've been doing it for a long time now, so what comes from us will be well founded. So firstly, set your preparation chart. Without this preparation chart, you will be running in all different directions, which we don't want. Secondly, prepare your base right. For the OCS, 60% of your marks are based on revision, EP and F. So if you don't have good knowledge of EP and F, you are out of the game. So for the OCS, the revision is very, very, very important. For the MCS, the revision is 35 to 40% of your marks. So it's also important. For the SCS, it's 25% of your marks. Bottom line is that revision is important. Without revision, you cannot go to the next step. So set your preparation chart. Prepare your base, which is the revision. Next is prepare the pre-scene. We, for our students, have a full 3-hour pre-scene analysis and a full detailed pre-scene and financial analysis document, which we give our students, which they then simply have to go through. Fourth, focus on this preparation chart that you have created. This chart is not just so that it looks good. It's created so that you can use it, so that you must follow it. Even if you take one full day just to create a plan, just to figure out this chart, it is a very good timing, a very good time investment, I will say. Practice as many mock questions with any tuition provider. If you choose to sign up with us, obviously we take care of everything. We get your marks corrected, we show you your mistakes, we show you the way forward, and then you are bound to learn. You are bound to do well. If all of this is followed, where is the chance of going wrong? You've done your revision, you've done the pre-scene, you've done professional mocks with me. Where is the chance for you to go wrong? So this is a study plan and a preparation chart which we feel will really help you, which we feel will be useful for you. And if you found the material helpful, sign up. If you found my explanations helpful, because I lead the courses, sign up to one of our case study courses and we will be happy to help you. Thank you for being here.